did you grow up? Or did you always have dogs or animals in your life?
So I actually was born here in Waverly, Iowa. I actually moved around a lot. My stepdad was in the Navy, so lived around in different states. Came back to Waverly, went through high school here at Waverly Shell Rock, and graduated high school. Uh, didn't really grow up with animals at all or dogs. Didn't really have any pets. Boy.
Um, what did you like to do when you were growing up?
Oh, let's see. My no, down. I know. Like that. My biggest thing I really liked to do when I was growing up was play street hockey with my friends, ride bikes around the neighborhood. We actually, I got really involved in collecting baseball cards and football cards. Um, and that was pretty much about it. I mean, I just really enjoyed hanging out with the friends and, you know, riding our bikes and hanging out.
So how old were you when you were first on the front lines, and did you always have like dogs or whatever out on the battlefield with you or in training?
Uh, we didn't really have any dogs assigned to my unit. And we didn't have any dogs that we worked with. I've never worked with any of the military dogs when I was deployed. I would say it was probably in my mid 20s. I wouldn't say it was more frontline. It was kind of was on a cob. Um, Basically, it's a combat post that we were stationed at in Afghanistan, and and we would actually take a lot of small arms fire and mortar rockets, and a lot of that was pretty, intense sometimes, and so we would actually, have to uh, respond back with mortars or outgoing fire.
So how did you get into the military?
I actually, I was in high school when I joined. I was actually 17. My parents signed for me to enter to the service. I did my basic between my junior and senior year summer, and then after I graduated, I went to my AIT, my specialty school, and I joined because I really wanted to serve. That was my biggest thing. I joined in 2000, and as all I wanted ever to do was I wanted to serve and help people.
So do you have any interesting like stories at your outpost that you'd be willing to share?
So yeah, it was a lot of different things have probably happened to me when I was deployed to Afghanistan. One that comes to mind is we're on a convoy, and we had a vehicle that actually had a rollover, and we had to get the individual to a medevac, and then we had to tow the vehicle back to our site, and then after that we would actually have to continue the mission, so we had to go back on the road. During our convoy, we actually had a vehicle that was speeding up and through a market neighborhood area, and was weaving in and out of our convoy. One of the things is with that is they actually were V-bids. They're actually like vehicles that actually try to get in our convoy and blow up. I mean, they're a bomb, and a lot of them were suicide bombers. And this vehicle is pretty was suspected to be a V-bid. It was moving up in a convoy and it actually got in front of my vehicle, and I was the TC of that vehicle, the truck commander, and I kind of radioed up. I got out of our back out of the convoy and was on the side, trying to speed back up again. And at that time, it was kind of more even with my vehicle, and I know, buddy. Going through the market area, a little boy was hit with the vehicle, and stopped the vehicle. And then normally the vehicles like to get up in front of our convoy and stop the whole convoy. I know. So a lot of times it's been pretty hard. I think about it about every night. I have 6 kids, and every time I imagine one of my kids being the boy that got hit. And sometimes it's almost like survival guilt almost too, that, you know, it could have been me, that the vehicle could have blown up. So it's been pretty difficult sometimes, and it plays back and back all the time in my mind.
So do you have any interesting information about working at Retrieving Freedom and your service dog editor?
Yeah. Back then I really love to serve and, you know, help people. In the beginning, you know, coming back from, you know, deployment, I actually was discharged from the service and because of PTSD, and that was really hard for me to deal with because the fact that I was, you know, it was my career and it was something I loved and enjoyed. Yes, I know, buddy. Lay down. No. Put your head down. No, put your head down. I know. No. Head down. Head down. Come on. Go ahead. So yeah, all I wanted to do was serve, and coming back, it was really difficult. I went through a lot of struggles, so I looked for getting a service dog to hopefully help me. And going through the process through Retrieving Freedom, I learned a lot from the co-founder so far about dogs and training and working with them while going through the process. And then once I got placed, I went to dog training school down in Texas, and then from there I volunteered with the organization, and then finally went part-time and got a full-time position as a dog trainer. And one of the things is that I really enjoy is that I am able to serve again in some way.
What is it like to have a service dog, and how does it help you?
It is it's really hard to explain, except that as you can see, it's been very helpful to sit here and talk to you guys. Normally, down. Go ahead. No, lay down. Go ahead. Talk about these things. So it gets me to, you know, ground me and focus on him a little bit, and be able to answer you guys' questions. And it's been so helpful that I can actually do things and get out in public, and I can, you know, be myself again, versus isolating and also living. Because if I didn't have him helping me, I probably wouldn't be here today.
What is it like to train a service dog?
Training a service dog, again, you know, I I always wanted to serve and help people, and training service dogs is can be very difficult sometimes, because you can get pretty attached to some of those dogs. But the biggest reward, nobody, down, good, that's it. No, down. Is having that dog that you worked with and trained all the way through to where now it's placed with a veteran or a child with autism, and you get to see them grow and thrive and have a purpose again in their life and helping them and their family. I know, buddy. Lay down. No, lay down. And thrive again. It's very, very rewarding.
If someone were to write your legacy 100 years from now, what would you want it to be?
That is pretty difficult to answer, because I really never thought about my legacy, or in a certain way. But one thing is that I always think about is, again, I really love to serve and help people, and if I would leave this world, I want to know that I left something behind that helped somebody, and make sure that whatever I did and I put forth all the effort that I could to help others, as I was helped as well, and that I would see being the best thing for saying someone writing my legacy. I know, but yes, I know. Oh, you got late. Oh, got late down. Good boy. All the way.
And is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would say through my life as my career, through the military to now training service dogs for veterans and children with autism, I have looked at my life in a different way that actually gets me to wanting to live again. Because no matter what, how we struggle through life, being discharged or being diagnosed or having a disability that's not visual, I have seen where I'll fall a few times here and there, and I'm able to pick myself back up, and I can start doing things again. And things have changed in my life so many times that all I have to do is think about having faith that God has a plan for me, and having faith in Him, and that things are gonna be all right, and I'm gonna keep living and helping.
Thank you for coming here and doing the interview with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
And if you put your papers on your chair, Mr. Johnson, if you could stay seated
Yep.
for a second. Children, if you could go by the chair, and I will take a picture for Mrs. Mummelthai so I don't get in trouble. Forgetting my role in this whole
No.
business.
Hey.
Definitely smells like that.
Oh yeah.
All right, okay. On that side so I don't get the microphone in here. There you go.
Nope. Hey.
Wonderful.
You can say his
Fender,
name.
you're so pretty.
Hey.
But, yeah.
Hey. No. Hey, look.
Oh,
Hey.
there we go. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3. Lovely. All right, you can escort Mr. Johnson back to the library. And I have his